Hey everyone, Sleepy Reader here for a little vlog where I want to shout out, point out, appreciate some of the older, by older I mean people who started earlier, age has nothing to do with it, older YouTubers in the comic book community who some people may not know about them, because I saw a live hangout a few weeks ago where someone didn't know who GhostCritic was. And the old YouTuber in me goes, doesn't know who GhostCritic is? Because it seemed like everyone knew who GhostCritic was at one point when the community was smaller. And he was one of the earlier people to get on it, and all of us watched him. I always look forward to his reviews every week, and if he does any other special videos, which he does depending on his whims and his schedule. But so yeah, there's such a flood of new YouTubers here, and sometimes in general we focus on shouting out and finding the new people, especially since YouTube isn't as good as helping us find each other as it used to be. But that works both ways. A new person may come on, see Running with Comics maybe. I mean, I hear a lot of people shouting him out. He had a contest. A lot of people made cool videos for his contest. Sorry I didn't do that, Scott, but just didn't have good answers for you. And I'm not really looking to be in contests usually. But anyway, so they may have seen some portion of the YouTube community and decide to start doing their videos, and there may be older people that they've missed. And I also, just for myself, when I first discovered the YouTube community and figured out what was going on, it just seemed so amazing to be able to sit back and talk about comic books like this. So these people felt really important to me when I discovered them. And they're all really cool people, and I really admire. People have come and gone also, so I'm really glad for the ones who stayed and kept doing it. So first, I'm going to put links down below, and the links are to specific videos that I kind of handpicked. Still a certain amount of randomness, but I kind of handpicked as sort of interesting earlier videos by these people. So I have one by GhostCritic down below, and as I've said already, you know, he does these great weekly reviews, and he's been around in terms of the community a long time, and he's been kind of a touchstone for me, starting in my earliest days of the community, and you know, it's been really exciting to have that continuity. And I always find his thoughts interesting. He has a lot of personality that he projects on screen. That's highly enjoyable. He was the first one I saw showing his whole collection. Now I've seen too many people doing that, and I don't watch people showing their whole collection the way I once might have. But anyway, I think a lot of... And he may have been the first person to do a kind of question and answer thing in the community, where for celebrating a certain milestone, he has people to ask him questions and he answers them. Or he may not have been. Someone else may have done that. But anyway, I feel like a lot of these things become kind of regular things we do in the community, and they had to start somewhere. Someone started them. So anyway, check out GhostCritic. If you don't subscribe to him, subscribe to him, just because he's a fun guy. And has lots of interesting thoughts on comic books. And then I want to be sure to shout out Scott Koestenbraumstar. I'm never sure how to say Koestenbraumstar, I guess would be the proper name of that. Maybe I've missed the video where he explains the origin of that unusual tag, nickname, or whatever it is. But he is so much fun to watch. Over the years, he's done such an eclectic variety of videos. There was a period where he was doing these like 1 minute or less than a minute long kind of joke videos that I thought were brilliant. He's he's done these great hangouts with howlermouse where they discuss in depth one focused idea in comics. I know he has a tremendous collection. He's obviously a huge reader. He's a huge lover of videos and music, or movies and music. Always interesting, always surprising guy. And I hope his health is doing well or on the upswing. I think he's had a number of setbacks that I don't know exactly what they are. But so definitely check out Scott. A lot of Scotts in the community, I believe. And then Captain Strangelife. A lot of people name check him, so I almost didn't put him on the list just because I feel like he maybe is the one that everyone knows about. But if for some reason you've missed Captain Strangelife, or maybe you've just seen some of his recent videos, go back, watch some of his old videos. He's obviously because he's collected so much and thought about it and really looked at and researched however we fans research things. He just knows a lot of lore. He has so many interesting things in his collection. He has a nice sly sense of humor. So I'm still dipping back into his old videos and looking for interesting tidbits here and there. And he remains active. He watches people's videos. He leaves comments. And so I think both he and Scott may have been amongst the first. I mean, they would know better than I, and there certainly are probably people that I'm missing out, either that I'm forgetting to put in here, or that I, didn't discover myself. I'm mostly excluding people who don't do things anymore, although I will mention 2 people who I wish were still doing things. And then, speaking of old guys, there is Matt, one of the many Matts, but perhaps the first Matt in the YouTube community. Matt, Agent 42Q, now known as Wednesday Serial. He has been doing it for 5 years, which makes him ancient. I think when he started, there was no community. And he started connecting with people, most of whom are not active now. But he's stayed connected. His activity on his own channel kind of goes up and down, but he appears on Hangouts too. Very intelligent guy, funny, and has his own particular take on things, with a strange obsession with Deadpool and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Atomic Robo. But I was joking with him the other day that he reminds me of Woody Allen. I don't know if he minds that. The good Woody Allen from the good movies. But anyway, so check out Matt, now known as Wednesday Serial. And howlermouse has just hit his 3rd year anniversary, and he did a series of 5 videos answering questions. I put a link. I think I'm going to put a link to 2 old videos by him below. It was watching his videos that made me connect to what was going on here. And he's a good person. He's a good person for talking about the community. And he has a lot of psychological insight and kind of literary insight in the sense of pop literature, pop culture insight into comic books and what we do. So he's kind of a comic book historian and someone with these other interesting insights. And he is the master at hunting for bargains in comic books. I don't think over time anyone else has gotten more bargains on comic books than he has. Okay, then I some people who aren't around anymore, or one I think has stopped completely making videos, is Cromda1. And when I started out, I really liked watching his videos. I think he was one of the earlier people doing it. It's also hard to keep track of these things. Everyone who came slightly before you seems to you like they've been doing it forever. And another one who I think has been doing it a long time in the relative scope of things, like 3 or 4 years, is or was Edward 2962. And Edward, I think has made one video in the past 3 or 4 months. So I'm hoping he's not out of the game. I saw a comment by him not too long ago. But he's a really smart guy. He tends to pick a single issue and really discuss it in depth. But really eclectic and with a kind of deep experience. An older guy like me, I think. A deeper experience in comics. So definitely check him out, and there'll be a link below. So some other people who came before me, but I kind of viewed them as part of the bedrock of my idea of what the community was when I started, so I want to shout them out in case anyone has missed them. One is Poetskinny. I guess he's probably been doing it a little more than 2 years, but I loved his videos so much I thought he'd been doing it forever. He has kind of been talking about comic books less lately, but he seems to be coming back to that. But go back to his older videos. They're always funny, intelligent, interesting, and ones that only Poetskinny could do. They're just a very unique individual. So everyone, I could say that about everyone, but it kind of just jumps out at me with Poetskinny. Another unique individual, and another one kind of like howlermouse, who really, I watched him, and then I thought, wow, I really want to just sit down and talk about comic books like this guy's doing, and I think he only started a little bit before me, I'm not sure, MAW00001. I believe his name is Mark over in England. GhostCritic's name is Mark too, so got a lot of Marks. They're not easy Marks. So MAW whatever has this great way of just sitting and chatting to the camera. Not easy for me to do when I started out. I feel like I'm getting better at it. But I put a link to an early video by him that I remember really striking me when I first saw it. Another guy that I think has been around a medium amount of time, I used to think he'd been one of the early people, but is Hippies Collectibles. Fantastic guy with a great sense of humor, a strong personality, and a take no bullshit kind of guy. And he has been collecting interesting stuff, I suspect, for a really long time. He even had a video I remember vividly where he showed really old newspapers, like I think from before the turn of the 20th century. So from the 1900s, I believe. Anyway, really old, unusual to us now, newspapers. He's got music, he's got art, he's got comics, he's got all kinds of things, just really eclectic, kind of I don't know if he drinks beer, but kind of like a beer drinking philosopher of collecting. And a comic book mom, she probably came just before I did, I think, or a few months before I did, but also just someone I want people who maybe haven't checked her out to go back and look at A Comic Book Mom. She kind of also epitomizes that. Just sit and talk to the camera, show your comics, just be a regular person. I think what I love about the community in general, and what my favorite kind of videos, is just people being themselves, talking about comics, not trying to do a show, not trying to do anything fancy. And that, even that takes practice in a way, because you got to get used to talking to a camera for most of us. But this is what makes it a really wonderful experience for me. So I have my own ups and downs where I think sometimes maybe I should stop doing this. Maybe I should spend my time on something else, but I come back to it pretty quickly. And I feel more and more like, I have levels of friendships and connections here, which I was resistant for a long time to thinking of as real in any way, because it's on the internet. It's far away, there's long distances. But we've got the Hangouts, people chat on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, follow many people on Twitter. from the community. There's always like a little low buzz of comic book conversation going on Twitter. And a lot of there's several times people have started community pages on Facebook, and I kind of lost track of all that. Like now there's a lot of British guys who talk about the YCC, and I guess they have a Facebook page. I'm not even sure if I'm a member of that Facebook page or not. I'm a member of at least 3 different Facebook pages, but I never go to Facebook, so I've stopped worrying about that, really. So anyway, yeah, I've really enjoyed all of this. I would never, ever have thought of doing my own YouTube channel. I would never have thought of doing comic book reviews on video, but for watching these people. Some people kind of started doing videos and then discovered the community. I discovered the community and then I had to do videos because I wanted to be a part of it. But for me, it's just about that connecting, that community, that chatting with each other for whoever wants to listen to me chat. I love it when I get comments, when things that I've said maybe come up in other people's videos. When I can, I love to do hangouts and chats. Unfortunately, I can't do it very often, or my timing, when I'm finally free to do it at 9 o'clock at night, my time, it's midnight where most people are, it seems. But stay in touch. Contact me however you want to do it. Always happy to chat. And if you aren't doing videos yet, but start doing videos, let me know. Like I feel a lot of people subscribe to me and then maybe later start a channel, and some of those start an active channel with videos, and that I sometimes miss some of those. So communicate back. Say, hey, I've started a channel. Don't say, please, please, please sub me, but just say, hey, I've started a channel. I'll definitely check it out. So I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.